This is the QBIX Code. Real tech, real issues, real answers. Making the complicated simple, one integration at a time. Let's crack the code.
Welcome to the QBIX Code.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Arron Brown from Digital Jersey. Do you want to talk to us initially about your role at Digital Jersey, what you brought you here?
Yeah, so I've been here nearly approaching 3 years now, and I'm Business Development Manager. So I've got two core focuses. My biggest focus is inward investment. So I look to attract tech companies and ask them to relocate to Jersey.
Okay.
And most of my work is to then get them through that journey, minimise red tape, obviously promote Jersey, and then share the benefits.
Everything that goes with it.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's a big task. What is your background? What's your experience? I know you've worked in telecoms, IT, sure for a period of time, business development in education. You've had a number of varied roles over the years. So what brought you to Digital Jersey and gave you that perspective that this is something that you're going to be the driving force behind now?
Well, there's an argument that my job at Digital Jersey is like one of the best jobs I've had. I think what's brought me here is being able to be impartial.
Okay.
I loved my time at Shaw, and unfortunately you can become subconsciously biased on an employer and their products and services. And sometimes, you're tasked with huge KPIs to sell a product and a service, and sometimes it's just not quite right for that customer.
Yeah.
And although my ethics would go, okay, well, Shaw can do that, I'd recommend you working with those. Mm-hmm. That's not always easy when you're on someone's payroll. So moving to Digital Jersey is the first time where I've been able to be in some form of sales role without the strong focus on making targets.
Yep.
And just do the right thing.
Yeah, so someone's let you out of the cage, basically.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of freedom then to be creative and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. So your role itself, I mean, it sounds massive, but let's kind of drill into it a little bit. It's a bit, you've talked about relocation. It's probably a little bit infrastructure. It's definitely around partnerships. We're doing a load of stuff together with, QBIX are a new Digital Jersey member, and you've already started making introductions there. Talent. It's a huge remit generally, which is really exciting. Which of those areas excites you most now? What are you involved in? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so all of them excite me. And again, it's, Digital Jersey obviously an eclectic mix. There's an argument we're probably underfunded. We don't have enough resource.
Always.
But what we do is through really, really good memberships is the ability to be able to be that sound and that voice from our members. So getting out there, speaking to businesses, saying, what are your challenges?
Yeah.
And it fits all of those. It's finding the right talent, matching us to someone that might have a project where traditional BD can be quite cold.
Yep.
It'd be quite difficult, and the sowhat.com. So DJ being able to be that kind of soft bit, integrating people and saying, well, why aren't you speaking to those? Almost like reverse business development, lobbying, so we can get the voice from business going to government and saying, this is what they need.
No, definitely.
So let's get something done.
Definitely.
And then obviously then the other bits about the relocation. So we obviously through the DJ memberships is that we look to say, okay, well, if we haven't got the skills on Ireland, short to medium, can we then attract people in? So we don't just do the relocations for business.
Okay.
A business might come to us and go, we need to hire this, and we've identified this talent in the UK. How do you do it? And we do all the heavy lifting. We do the recruitment process through our work permissions.
Yeah, I mean, Jersey's notoriously hard for bringing resources on Ireland. But there is that untapped local expertise thing, which I found working with you already. The more people we introduce, the more partnerships we build, the more relationships we have with people, the more you find this kind of hidden talent on the island.
There is significant talent on the island. And it is up to those businesses be more involved with Digital Jersey, get part of your membership, so you become part of that community, part of that co-op. Yep. But there's a lot of organisations and talent out there that some people aren't aware of. Yeah. So we do need to look at home and remind ourselves. But at the same time as well, Jersey's issues are global issues. We just feel it a little bit more because we're so insular and small. So cybersecurity, AI, all of those kind of things, they're global talent resource issues. And it's just felt more in Jersey.
No, completely. I mean, I've been in Guernsey the last 2 days, and I've had countless conversations with clients, exactly the same, and they're struggling with inbound talent. There's talent on the island, but they can't necessarily access it at the right cost point for them. It's incredibly expensive to hire local resource, etc., etc. We're doing, as you know, I had a previous podcast with Matt Van Sanden from Core Focus. We're doing quite a lot together at the moment, just unearthing actually how businesses can do things differently. So the perception that they need certain talent with certain skills might actually be slightly misdirected sometimes. And by doing something slightly differently, you can tap into a whole heap of resource and do things using a Microsoft ecosystem instead of some bespoke package or whatever. It's all those kind of things.
I think what's key there, and I think what you guys do, and that's a really good partnership that you're forging with Core Focus X as well, is reminding those organisations that you don't have to have the talent in-house, and actually good outsourcing with the right provider. And guess what? They're here.
Yeah, right here.
We just need to, I think we all need to start shouting a little bit more about what we can and what we can't do, and create a safe forum for those organisations to go, this is what we need, without being bombarded with the traditional sales process.
Yeah, absolutely. So that collaboration, because it's a sticky one, right? I mean, I've partnered with Core Focus. We're doing some great stuff. There's more to come later in the year, which I'll keep the kind of big secret for now. But it's about government. It's about all the local other partnerships. It's about large organisations, but small organisations as well. How do we get better at that? You must have a view on, yes, it's cutting red tape. Yes, it's getting faster access to resource. Yes, it's, all of these kind of things. Jersey Business did the whole productivity grant thing earlier in the year, and that helped massively. But actually, that was a heck of a lot of individual organisations all fighting for the same pot.
Yes.
As opposed to coming together and working differently.
I think it's really easy to say government should do more and we should do more. And actually, I think we need to start maybe praising them a little bit. Yes, it can be frustrating. Sometimes it's not as agile as we want. But there are specific laws and policies that you can't deviate from. But there are two lots of funding. They are accessible, but there's lots of people applying for them.
Yeah.
Could we do better in terms of vetting, setting the process out, etc.? Yes. But at least there's funding there. I think what needs to go back is don't just rely on the government resource. It's there. But I think organisations need to take a little bit of their self-responsibility to say, what do we want to achieve? What can I co-invest in? Because if you're not going to co-invest and want to make a strategy change, then you're not going to grow your business.
No, absolutely.
But
there's no handouts.
You can lean on the ALOs like Digital Jersey, Jersey Business, Locate Jersey. There's some really, really wonderful groups. There's stuff going on in the background that not all organisations are necessarily want to be a part of or hear of. Yeah, but there's a lot going on in the background to promote Jersey globally.
Yep.
And it's for those organisations to want to get involved.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because I'm testament to that. You engage, you come, you talk to people, you build relationships, and that is absolutely clear. Yet there's the whole heap of kind of naysayers that don't believe it's easily accessible, or don't believe it's or believe there's too much red tape. But it's not necessarily true. So maybe that's something that the more we shout about it, the more we talk about it, then more people will come.
I think it's about managing the expectation as well. If all of these doing business and gaining commercial gain, it was that easy and that quickly, we'd all be doing it.
Yep.
So patience and timing is key, and persistence. And I think doing it on your own can be a challenge. Joining an organisation like Digital Jersey as a member and being associated with the affiliation and growing that co-op of trusted provisions is that step forward. But you've got to harvest it. Yeah. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it's about a two-way engagement. So I'm going to be really stickler on this one. Organisations have to invest that time. Yeah. You can't just say, right, well, I'm a DJ member and I want this. Yeah. You've got to put your own time and efforts into it as well.
Yeah, turn up and join in and contribute. I mean, we've talked about a number of things in that space. Let's talk about. I'm passionate about education, so I'm a governor at one of the colleges. I do a lot of youth work with people, and I see talent and I see some of the frustrations that young people have engaging with the workplace as it stands today, and all of those kind of things. But you've worked on upskilling young people and bringing people in. What do you see as the biggest opportunity? And let's talk positively.
Yes.
Let's talk about opportunities for young people as opposed to all the problems. How do we attract more, and how do we develop them into the digital sector?
Well, rather than attracting, I think we should look in-house and go, right, we've got, believe it or not, we've actually got all the foundations to be really, really good. And there are proven pathways into finance, for example.
Yeah.
So there is lessons learned on how, a post-16, post-18-year-old can have a career and go up that ladder with the right qualifications already there.
Okay.
So what we now need to do, and what you might see when we attract companies, we KPI them to say you must hire local and then be involved. But I also want more existing organisations to be looking at, Highlands College, all the other kind of non-holistic training programs that are out there, whether that's ALX with BDOC 5, whether that's the Digital Jersey Academy, whether that's Skills Jersey and the and the employment back to work schemes. There's lots and lots of these holistic trainings as well. Yeah. You don't just have to have a degree.
No.
The pace of technology and its learning means that some of those can be outdated. It gives you a wonderful foundation. We've just got to contextualise it.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back to the word, those organisations need to engage with the education providers locally and say, how do I hothouse the next talent? Be involved, mentor them, and then tell those educators the education framework might not be an exact match to what I need. So how do we contextualise it? Do you co-invest? Do you put your time in there to offer contextualised work experience?
Yeah. I've got first-hand experience of that actually, and it's not recent. So I had a stint earlier in my career with Jersey Telecom, and one of my responsibilities there was working with Highlands and going every year. We did the road show. We talk about JT as an organisation, and that wasn't just about it was kind of back in the days of kids coming through college. They'd talk to organisations. We'd talk to them about their passions and their skills and what they wanted to do and what we might offer and where that fit might be. But a big part of that conversation was a college conversation between me as an organisation and the college to say, is the course curriculum correct, and how might we adjust that, and how might we invest? So that's really interesting.
Yeah, it goes back to organisations and being responsible and going, look, you might not I'm not saying go to primary schools and give them a 10-year career path. No. I think the quickest win is maybe having a look at those that are just about or midway through the GCSEs, got core subjects, looking at Highlands do some wonderful IT programs, both as a structured course, as part-time learning, blended learning. Does Jersey need a university? No. There are undergraduate courses here, but the pace of learning now, you can have a hybrid. So you just need to find an employer that's willing to give the time and develop, and it's then to find those individuals and inspire them. I'm not a huge fan of just saying you've got a degree and it's this. I'm more in tune to finding young people with incredible work ethic. But it's up to the employer to inspire that, to go, wow, I can do this. No,
that's it. That's it, definitely. So, I mean, that's really how we make sure the skills and the training matches the market, right?
Yes.
So, yes, go and get a degree. And as a traditional education method, that's always been the case. But I think over the years, I was chatting to Trevor, a colleague at QBIX recently. We've both got kids. He's got kids that are now going to university. I've got kids that have just gone through GCSE. Mine's going to Highlands to do a film and television course. Absolutely amazing. And that could lead to any number of local opportunities, and be it with a stage 2 or a Delta or whoever, who knows. But the conversation was very much, it's become the norm to go to university, which wasn't the case when we were kids. And that's only in 20, 30 years, it was 30% went to university and the rest went into apprenticeships. But that tide is turning a little bit, I think, and education is now changing as well, and that's a whole heap of thing, challenge for the future for the next few years. How's education remain relevant in the world of AI and all of these kind of things? It's not really a topic to talk about today, but it's a huge subject.
But I think, again, there's a lot of positives in Jersey. When you live here permanently, it's sometimes quick to just take disadvantage of what's actually available. We're better connected than Singapore. Jersey Telecom's about to launch, their 5G proper. That's not just software upgrading and here's some speeds. It's an intelligent network. they say, well, it's not a marketplace because we've got fibre. You have to have fibre in the ground to get that technology, and it's about what the next 10, 15 years will look like.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to say that we're going to go into Star Trek mode and floating cars, but, autonomous vehicles, smart cities, being able to have, satellite sensors, things like that, that's automatic. If you're having a music festival and there's, 2,000 demographic, in a field in Jersey somewhere, that actually the network doesn't degrade because they understand that they can just, without, using AI and that 5G technology to re-divert it over there.
Absolutely. And
so
I have towed up a mobile mast to Jersey Live events before just to make sure that capacity's there. So completely everyday real life scenarios.
We've got 4 incredible off-island networks that give us our television, give us all of this, that, the other. I actually think Jersey's got an opportunity to re-look at its past strengths and reinvigorate them.
Yeah.
Because there's huge opportunity to Jersey to look at itself and go, we can be a specialist in that because we've got the potential talent coming through and a reason to care, the legacy infrastructure that can be rejuvenated and repackaged. And then, it's all there.
Absolutely.
We just need businesses to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and it kind of links into, my raison d'etre and everything I talk about at the moment. It's about people primarily, and if you connect the right people and we bring the right people to the island, and that's not just individual people, it's organisations too that want to invest in that and benefit from that. We are the world's leading sandbox, for want of a better word, right? It's phenomenal. So looking ahead, what do you want people to understand about Digital Jersey, our role in shaping the island's future? And I say our because all of the members contribute and we all are part of the machine,
Well, obviously it's election year next year, so a lot can change. We are about to go through our operational plan for what the next 3 to 5 years looks like.
Sure. That's life.
I think more and more organisations, not just from the technology point. I want to be looking at financial firms as well. Technology touches every single business, so we need more members to voice what they want and what their needs are. Lean on Digital Jersey to be that voice to government and other industry pillars. It's notable that it's not just Jersey. We have a Channel Islands Brussels office. We work very, very closely with Jersey Finance and maximising their jurisdictions. Yeah. We have double tax treaties and going, right, let's go out there and do some exporting. Yeah. And we did it last year. We took a cohort of fintech providers to Brussels, gave them an opportunity to present on the European stage, and then work with the policymakers to say, this is what's coming down the road. Right. Very rarely do you get compliance professionals and the regulators coming back from that event and going, wow, Jersey has an opportunity here. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It makes my mind flick a little bit so next month, October, we're going to Step Europe conference to essentially showcase QBIX's capability, or QBIX and Core Focus actually as a partnership, our capability in the offshore market. We've also partnered with a local Cyprus organisation that we're co-sponsoring that event. And then we're bringing that organisation from Cyprus back to Jersey in November for the Step Jersey conference. But there's a huge opportunity there along the lines of what you're talking about to say, well, actually, how can they benefit from our expertise and vice versa, potentially? I don't know, but they're hugely excited about the opportunities. The feedback we get from our European cousins was, wow, Jersey, it's not just a tax haven. I don't like the word tax haven. It's tax efficiency. Yes. We're well regulated. We're one of the best at it. We've just passed the money vow stuff there. So, it's not tax avoidance, it's tax efficiency. Yep. There's an argument why other jurisdictions can't follow suit. We then have all the underlining technology merits to create something special. Yeah. We're then attracting the right people. I'm quite audacious. I want to be ambitious. I say, look, why can't we be a San Francisco in its heyday? Obviously, size and scale. But if we can attract the right people to drive innovation, whether that's an investment or whether that's just people and skills, why not? We have to start thinking big. We have all the capability. We just need to rejuvenate it. Definitely. And I think there's 2 areas that we could potentially focus on. I think one of them is our data hosting capabilities. Yeah. We have all the infrastructure to do it. Yep. It was, prior COVID and everyone moving to the hyperscalers, etc., that, data sovereignty wasn't there. Yeah. We talked about this in Brussels. As tensions rise between East and West, when Jersey has its own rules and regulation on how it can be, how people externally can access data, etc., We've got the uprising of AI and large language models.
Yeah.
You've got political tensions and wars, etc. Suddenly we should be going to other countries and going, we can co-host, co-locate or white label certain bits of your information and put it in Jersey because it can't be touched. It's got some very, very unique laws that I want to, again, rejuvenate.
Yeah, and everyone can benefit from.
And everyone can benefit from.
Yeah, definitely. Superb.
And then the other one, you know, you look at blockchain and Web3. This isn't just crypto. The very principles of blockchain could actually be the very, very footprint of what I call digital citizenship. Can you imagine, you know, developing a government-led or private-led tokenization as a citizen where we nominate a utility information, bank information, a doctor's information? Imagine having a token as you as a person, walking into JT and saying, I've done my credit checks, there's my token, grab your phone, there's your contract, in minutes. You know, getting your doctor's information in minutes, understanding your utilities, you know, registering to vote. You can use blockchain technologies to, you know, become a digital citizen.
Unlock all of that.
And unlock all of that. And again, it's all here. We can do it.
And I've always been surprised. Blockchain came up in a conversation yesterday where, how long? 10 years in, really, to, let's not talk about Bitcoin because that's a different thing entirely, but blockchain as a technology, I'm fascinated why that hasn't been embedded more prevalently into business systems yet. But actually, the next step of that
is going there.
Is coming really, really quickly. So that is going to be an interesting journey for the next 2 or 3 years.
And look, we're well regulated in this space. Again, you know, we looked at MiCA in Europe. You know, we are looking at, you know, there's some really, really nice organisations here, such as Kamanu, MoneyBrain, CoinShares. You know, they've got that, you know, digital asset registration, the VAS license, virtual asset, you know, service provider. You know, so again, we're talking about digital assets and crypto, but the next step there is then going, okay, well, how else can we use this technology? And the world's your oyster. We can create something very, very special here.
No, absolutely.
Just need innovation and ideas and put it together.
And people. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good loop to the and finally question. If you could leave our listeners with one reason to be excited about our future. We've talked about many today, so you've come up with something different. Yeah. What is it?
People.
People.
We get stuff done when we engage with the right people. And it is an unsung positive that we take for granted here on the island. When I relocate organisations from Germany or from the UK, the ability to connect to people quickly, whether it's a regulator, whether it's a politician, whether it's a do business with this person because it's been, you know, referred. Keep doing it, more of it, and share that success. That's the reason to be excited because, believe it or not, with the right people, with the right introductions and the right co-op of trusted provisions, you can actually get stuff done here.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. I'm going to use that very selfishly as a bit of a hook. And you didn't know this because we've not talked about it. But every Tuesday at the sundown, there is a speaker factor, which is something that's been set up by a cohort of people to encourage people for public speaking to talk about their passions. I'm on Tuesday night next week. And the title is Get Stuff Done. It's actually called Get Shit Done. But yeah, interesting. So come along. And it'll be
send me an invite, and if we can get a link in on this video when it goes live, but hopefully before Tuesday, then let's do it.
Definitely. Superb. Thanks, Arron.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Pleasure
Good to speak with you as always.
Until next time.
Take care.
Thanks all.
Thank you for listening to the QBIX Code. Real tech, real issues, real answers. For more on what we do, head to qbix.digital. Keep it simple. Keep it QBIX.